Welcome to the Authors Lighthouse podcast, helping writers and emerging authors navigate the choppy waters of publishing. I'm your host, Karen Schober, indie author and author consultant. Hello, and welcome to this week's show. Today, we're going to start off by talking about pen names or pseudonyms. They are a fictitious name used by an author instead of their real name. The practice of using a pen name has been common throughout history, with many famous writers include George Eliot, Mark Twain, and even J.K. Rowling, all chose to publish under a different name. There are several reasons an author may choose to use a pen name. One of those most common reasons today is to protect their privacy. As we know, writing is very personal and actually an intimate activity, and many authors may not want to share their work or personal details with the world. By using a pen name, they can maintain a certain level of anonymity and distance between themselves and their readers. An author may choose to use a pen name to separate their personal life from their professional life. For example, if an author works in a profession that is unrelated to writing, they may not want their colleagues or clients to know they're also an author. By using a pen name, they can keep their writing life separate from their work life. This is especially the case if it's finance or working with children, depending on the genre they're working in. A pen name can offer a level of protection from criticism or negative reactions to their work. If an author writes something that's controversial or unpopular, using a pen name can shield them from the backlash that may come with it. This can be important for authors who write about very sensitive or taboo subjects, as they may face harassment or even danger if they use their real name. Using a pen name can also allow an author to explore different genres or writing styles without damaging their reputation or confuse fans of the author's work. If an author is known for writing in a particular genre or style, their readers may not be open or honestly interested in them writing something different from the genre that they know and love. By using a pen name, they can write in a different genre or style without confusing or alienating their readers. A pen name that can allow an author to write more freely and experiment with their work without worrying about the expectations of their readers or critics. And by using a pen name, an author can write without the pressure of living up to their previous work or reputation. This was what J.K. Rowling tried to do when she published The Casual Vacancy under the pen name Robert Galbraith. This was good to do with the genre hop, but there were mixed reviews, and when the secret spilled that it really was J.K., I personally was annoyed that she would choose to do that because I thought it felt shady to hide behind a pen name, but I can understand why she did it for the genre hop and probably to test to see how good of a writer she really was. Chances are it probably was also her publisher's idea to not confuse the readers and have them expecting another Harry Potter type book. Sometimes an author may choose to use a pen name to honor a family member or friend. For example, if an author's mother had a lifelong dream of becoming a writer but could never pursue it, the author may choose to publish under their mother's name as a tribute to her. So there are some potential downsides of using a pen name. For one, it is difficult to build a personal brand or establish a following if an author is using a different name. It can also be harder to promote their work as they cannot use their real name in marketing or advertising. Using a pen name can also create confusion for readers who may not realize that they are reading the work of an author that they may already be familiar with. It can make it harder for the author to establish a relationship with their readers as they cannot connect with them on a personal level because they are hiding behind that pen name. It can also be expensive and time consuming. An author will need to create a new identity, including new email address, website, and social media accounts, and build those up. They also may need to hire a lawyer to help navigate the legal issues involved with using a pen name. And there are other potential legal issues to consider when using a pen name. For example, an author may be sued for defamation or breach of contract under their pen name, and it might be difficult to defend themselves without revealing their true identity. And using a pen name can make it harder to register and defend copyrights or get payment for work. So these are issues to think about, not necessarily saying don't do it, but these are things to think about, the pros and cons of using a pen name. So there are both benefits and drawbacks to using a pen name as an author. While it can provide privacy, separation, and freedom to explore different genres or writing styles, it can also make it harder to build a personal brand and promote their work. Ultimately, the decision to use a pen name should be based on the author's individual needs and goals, and they should contemplate the potential benefits and drawbacks before deciding. Ultimately, the decision to use the pen name is a personal one and should be based on the individual's needs and circumstances. While it can offer a level of anonymity and freedom, it also is harder to build that brand. An author should carefully weigh these potential benefits to ensure that they also have a solid legal and marketing strategy if they choose to use a pen name. Personally, I use my legal name as my pen name, but I do have author friends that use pen names. It's important to know why you are choosing your author name because that will become your brand. If you decide to change your author name, like I did, it can also prove to be difficult to wash that old name away from the online databases and online retailers. It also meant that I needed to get a new domain, new email address, update my social medias, and other bookkeeping needed to update my name pretty much everywhere. Even though I am using my legal name, there is no way for me to delete my old name on Google Reads page and an Author Central author page. And trust me, I tried everything I could to update it or delete it. But once it's in and you've published under that name, you're locked in. So think wisely, give it thought, discuss it with your family or people important to you, get their feedback, and then jump in with both feet. So that is a quick discussion about pen names. The show is brought to you by my book, Hollywood Hearts, The Second Act, now up on Amazon and in Kindle Unlimited. Beth Edwards didn't think her book would be anything more than scribblings in a notebook. Never in her wildest dreams would she have thought that her book would become a blockbuster success and a Hollywood came calling. Life would never be the same for Beth and her young family as they headed to Hollywood to oversee production. Robert Cobb, the seasoned actor, had wanted to be involved in the project since he had seen Beth on TV promoting her book. He was amazed at who Beth was. As their characters fall for each other on the screen, they are both confused with what they are feeling off screen. Will true love happen when the director calls out, "Cut, that's a wrap"? If you like behind the scenes of Hollywood and the romance of meeting and falling for one of your TV crushes, Hollywood Hearts, The Second Act, a contemporary feel-good romance, will capture your heart. Find it on Amazon, a Kindle Unlimited exclusive. The word of the week. This week's word is really more of an issue, and this is the ISBN 979 issue. As we have discussed in previous shows, the ISBN, or the International Standard Book Number, acts to identify a specific version of a book. There are ISBN 10s and ISBN 13s, but more often the ISBN 13 is currently being used. The prefix ISBN 979 was introduced in 2007 to expand the range of possible ISBNs as the number of books being published skyrocketed. Books with an ISBN starting with 979 are valid and can be registered just like those starting with 978, and those are ones that you'll mostly see in North America. However, there have been some issues with implementing the 979 prefix, particularly with the assignment of the unique publisher identifiers. Sometimes different publishers have been assigned the same identifier, leading to confusion and potential errors in book metadata. This is all the information about your book that's on file. Some older book databases do not recognize ISBNs starting with 979, which can cause problems for book distributors and sellers. Kind of sounds like the Y2K bug, if you ask me. Despite these challenges, the use of the ISBNs starting with 979 have become increasingly common over the years. It is likely they will continue to be used alongside the 978s in the future. Now, with ISBNs, both the 10-digit ISBNs and the 13-digit ISBNs, also known as ISBN-10 or -13, can start with the 979. But the ISBN 10s format comprises of 10 digits, which are typically divided into groups of 4, 3, and 3 digits separated by hyphens. The last digit of an ISBN 10 is a check digit used to verify the accuracy of the preceding digits. The ISBN 13s, the format consists of 13 digits, imagine that, which are divided into 5 groups of varying lengths separated by hyphens. The first 3 digits of an ISBN starting with 979 shows that the book was published in the new 979 range, while the next group of digits represents the country or region of the publisher, and the following group represents the publisher itself. The final digit of an ISBN 13 is also a digit check. In general, today, the ISBN 13s are the preferred format, as it is more versatile and allows for more unique identifiers. However, some older systems may still use the ISBN 10, and it is important to note that the two formats are not interchangeable. Publishers and booksellers should ensure that they are using the correct format for their particular application. There are conversion programs out there that will do it for you, but don't just add on an extra 3 zeros to make it a 10 into a 13. It doesn't work that way. While this may not affect most authors, it is something that is important to be mindful of as we use ISBN's tracking for distribution and sales of our book. I'm sure it's not the last issue we will have with the ISBN system as we move forward into the growing world of publishing. In news this week, we actually have 2 stories to talk about. First of all, I am happy to say that the HarperCollins and the union employees have signed a contract. They actually did that on February 17th to end the 3-month-long strike. It looks like both sides are pretty happy with the agreement, and the employees, most importantly, can go back to work. So that was just a quick update. So in other news, this week, the UK publisher of Roald Dahl's books like Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory announced that they were editing his books to remove, quote, potentially offensive words like fat, crazy, and mad. While taking a more PC approach to the books is one thing, they were also changing character descriptions or adding content that is completely different from what was originally written. Many critics, like the free expression advocates like PEN America, and even critically acclaimed authors like Salman Rushdie have spoken out that this editing is ridiculous and causes and Dahl's work to be absurd censorship by removing these powerful words. Books are written to make us feel something, and sometimes being uncomfortable is the author's goal. Writing for The Atlantic, journalist Helen said that Dahl's work can, quote, never be made nice, stating that his cold, unsettling spikiness is his defining quality as a writer, and that his popularity continues despite being so thoroughly out of tune with the times. Even Roald Dahl made comments about what he would do if his books ever had his work censored. Back in 1982, when he was talking to Francis Bacon, he was quoted to have said, quote, I warned my publishers that if they later on so much as change a single comma in one of my books, they will never see another word from me. Never, ever. When I am gone, if that happens, then I wish mighty Thor knocks very hard on their heads with his Molinar, or I will send along an enormous crocodile to gobble them up. The enormous crocodile is a reference to one of his works. I think this is a fantastic blast from the past that we need to make aware that this was not what he wanted. Both the US and Dutch publishers of Dahl's work have no plans to censor future versions of his books. And I'll let you know if any of the publishers are hit with a mighty hammer or have been attacked by an enormous crocodile. Okay, well, this week I have been working on a prequel for my Fire and Ice series. It's been fun to work with the characters that were side characters in Fire and Ice, Body Check, Heart Check, the first in the series, to give them their own story of how they became a couple and navigate the world of professional hockey, both individually and as a couple. I'm looking forward to getting out my mailing list. If you are interested in getting a free copy of this prequel when it is ready, you can sign up for my author's newsletter at karenschober.com/newsletter. That's KARENSCHOBER.com/newsletter. Vendor night. Woo! Wow. When you have an event, you always order books with more than enough time for them to be printed and delivered. I had a vendor night earlier this week and ordered the books over 2 weeks ago. I knew they were being printed about an hour from where I live. So I knew from experience that they usually come much faster than estimated. While I did order them in time, they came in on Thursday for an event on Friday. Yes, they came in time, but for my sanity, I really would have liked them to come in a bit earlier than that. They came exactly when they told me they would be, when normally they come at least a half a week early. So that was a little frustrating, and I'm just very happy that they look fantastic and they got here with plenty of time. Just a little bit more time would have been nice. The attendance at the event was not what we were expecting for everybody, all the vendors there. But it did give me time to both try out the table display, which I am very happy with, and I'll post pictures on Instagram. They're also up on my author Instagram page and TikTok, which is Karen Author on Instagram and Karen Schober on TikTok. And the few people I spoke to at the event let me know that I really need to work on my elevator pitch for both books. I didn't make any sales, which is a bummer, but I still figure that the night was a success for me because of what I learned and took away from it. The best part was that it took me less than 10 minutes to break down the table and head out to the car. I am a classic overpacker, and knowing that I didn't bring the kitchen sink really felt good. Some of the vendors, like the soap lady I was next to, had so many individual little items to put away at the end of the evening that I could see a little note of envy on her when I had my 2 little boxes packed up and wheeled out of there at the end of the night. It was easy, and it was really, really easy. And having the luggage cart that I used to use as a massage therapist to move my table made things so much easier. I'm so glad I found it. It was an indoor event, and that did provide tables. The next event I'm going to, I will need to bring table, chairs, and a tent to set up and break this. So set up and break down will take a bit longer, but I will have my wonderful husband with me to help keep it a streamlined process. I'm doing some prep on some other projects that will come in the near future, which has been fun to plot out and see what the calendar is going to give me. As I get things more nailed down, I'll be announcing them when it's time, but I've been having a lot of fun working on them and getting them ready. So it has been a very productive week. I hope everyone is writing or working on their goals. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at Karen@theauthorslighthouse.com. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. If you have any questions or things that you would like to hear me discuss on the show, please go ahead and email me or reach out to me on social media. And everyone, have a great week.
This was The Author's Lighthouse, a Fireball Studio production. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Author's Lighthouse. And if you like the show, leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform. It really helps get the show discovered. And also don't forget to subscribe. If you have a topic you would like to suggest for a future episode, email it to Karen@theauthorslighthouse.com. If you liked this episode and want to hear more, please support the show at patreon.com/authorslighthouse. That's patreon.com/authorslighthouse. Every bit helps support the show. This was The Author's Lighthouse, a Fireball Studio production. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Author's Lighthouse and on Twitter at AuthorsLH. And if you like the show, subscribe and leave us 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps get the show discovered. If you have a topic you would like to suggest for a future episode, email it to Karen@theauthorslighthouse.com. That's KAREN @theauthorslighthouse.com. And if you really like this story and want to help more, please support the show at patreon.com/authorslighthouse. That's patreon.com/authorslighthouse. Every little bit helps support the show, and thank you.